I would say the feeling that I get is one shock, um, two excitement, of course, because you can't not be excited when you know you hit a ball hard and it has a chance to leave a yard. But it is a lot of fun.
Hey kids, Fool here. Welcome to Fancast. Today, the guest on our show is a brand new Chicago dog, Dusty Stroup. Dusty, thanks for joining us, buddy. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Before we get into talking about dogs, let's kind of find out your backstory. Can you tell us, well, you're first of all, you're a Great Plains kid, so can you tell us where you grew up and learned the game of baseball?
So I was born in Overland Park, Kansas, but I'm not from there. I don't claim that.
Okay.
So I'm from Lee Summit, Missouri. That's where I grew up. That's where my family was from. So started there, started at the young age of about 4 or 5. I honestly don't remember, but did what every young baseball player loves to do and play t-ball and go on from there. So learned a lot from my dad, my older brothers. I have two older brothers. They're 4 and 5 years older than me, so I learned a lot from them. I had to grow up pretty fast around them. The game got fast, but uh, they pushed me and they helped me become the player I am today.
When did you realize that baseball was your path?
Probably when I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
So I played basketball. My mom was a basketball player.
Oh,
She played college basketball. She was a superstar in my
wow.
eyes, of course. But so she was a big part of my basketball career growing up.
Nice.
But my dad was a baseball player, so obviously my passion for that came from him. But I think as soon as I started to kind of plateau with my basketball career, like probably around my junior year, I'm 6'1" and some change, and
Wow.
I'm not, the best shooter or the highest jumper or whatever. So I held my own on the basketball court, but I really started to make some strides my sophomore and junior year in baseball, and that's when I think I realized that this could be a thing for me. So obviously, I wanted to go on and play college baseball and hopefully become a professional baseball player later on in life. And I'm thankful and fortunate to be able to still be here and doing it today. So
Well, you are no stranger to Chicago, actually. You started playing pro ball in 2021 and
that's
a
right.
couple of teams, but then you finished that year 2021 with the Schaumburg Boomers. Do you
Yeah.
remember that experience? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, yeah, it was a great experience. So I started off in the draft league right after my redshirt senior year in college. Yeah, so it's like a developmental kind of league and kind of a showcase league, I'd say. So it's preparing for the MLB draft. So it's getting guys ready for the draft and trying to showcase, guys' abilities. And they did a great job up there. I had a pretty short stint there. I didn't play a whole lot of games because I ended up signing with Schaumburg. um, I thought that was just the best path for me personally to just get my career going because it at the time the draft league wasn't professional. So I wanted to get my career started, and Schaumburg reached out to me, and I thought it was a great opportunity for me. So I got to go play there and then get a ring in my first year. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, you guys won? You were there the year they won?
Yep, we won the
Wow.
league championship, so that was a really cool experience getting to learn from
Wow.
some of the older guys there, and yeah, so it was very memorable.
Oh, so you've got some championship pedigree now coming to town.
Technically, so yes, technically I do. I
Yeah.
didn't play in the playoffs.
Oh,
I was kind of
we
a
don't have to tell anybody.
right. I was a reserve role player, but learned a lot from those
You
guys and
still
how.
got, I'm sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet just that alone was a great learning experience being there for
Yeah,
those.
absolutely.
That's
So.
cool.
I enjoyed my time in Chicago though, so I'm so excited to be back.
Your last two full seasons were in the Pioneer League with the Idaho Falls Chuckers and then the Rocky Mountain Vibes, and your offensive numbers skyrocketed. So you can rake, right? The kid can rake. So, can you tell us about your hitting approach? Um, why those stats improved so greatly? Is it a technique or just kind of physical maturity? What do you attribute that to?
Um, I would have to attribute a lot of my hitting ability to the approach that I learned actually when I was here. So
Oh,
right now I'm a graduate assistant coach here at the University of Central Missouri, where I graduated from. And I still use a lot of what I did here in my game right now. So
wow.
as far as like my two strike approach, that's been a big thing with me. And I think the difference between kind of the jump to college to the professional level, the first 2 years that I played, I struck out at a pretty high rate.
Okay.
Um, but last year, I'm coming off of my best year yet as far as walk to strikeout ratio goes.
Right.
And I think it's really just hammering down those key principles that I learned when I was here, um, and just sticking to my game plan. And it's been working for me so far. So hopefully I can continue that up in Chicago for the Dogs.
All right. Well, for us laymen, what is the two strike approach, or at least for you?
So I hate to give away my game plan if
Oh,
any
okay.
pitchers are gonna see this. No, it's
Well,
okay.
you know what? I don't
So
want to spoil anything. We could cut it
no,
out.
no, no. I'll break it down for you because I make adjustments on the fly too. That's what good hitters do. So
Okay.
I try to do that as much as I can. But typically, if a pitcher, let's just say a pitcher isn't, they don't have overpowering velo, we'll say 95 plus.
Okay.
I will sit on their best off speed pitch with two strikes, no matter what,
Okay.
and just try my best to either foul off anything else or just try and spoil other pitches and try to see the next pitch essentially. So trying to work counts and get deeper into counts, and that obviously helps the walk rates and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But that's it's a pretty simple approach. Physically, I do change my approach. So with less than two strikes, I'm a little bit more upright in my stance. Um, I'm not as wide with my feet, but with two strikes, I'll widen out.
Hmm.
I'll have a really stable base as far as like my feet go, and then I'll choke up at least an inch on my back.
Wow. Wow.
So I make a physical change to get to my um, psychological change, I guess. That makes if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I take that I take a lot of pride in my two strike approach, and sometimes at times when maybe my swing's not feeling good and like the dog days of August, I'll just go no, like if I have zero strikes on me, I'll just go right to my two strike approach, and
Oh,
like the mechanics part of it. Just I
wow.
use it as almost like a reset. Like that's where I know I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So
All
no
right.
matter what's going on with my swing at the time, I know that my two strike approach swing is gonna be a little bit more consistent. So that's something I've done since I played here at UCM. So I give the coaches here a lot of credit for that.
Can you describe the feeling of hitting a home run? Do you
Oh
kind of
man.
know it before it's coming, or as soon as the ball hits the bat? What, for those of us who can't do it, will never do it. Can you describe the feeling for us?
So hate to give this answer, but I'm going to. I rarely ever try to hit home runs.
No kidding. Okay.
So the feeling that I get is surprised. I would say the word is surprised more than anything, because my approach, the way that I try to hit, trusting my ability to hit for power, I don't try to hit for power. So I would say the feeling that I get is one, shock, um, two, excitement, of course, because you can't not be excited when you hit a ball hard and it has a chance to leave a yard. You got people behind you cheering. But yeah, that's something I don't try to always do. But it is a lot of fun. So I do enjoy it each time it happens, and I don't take it for granted.
All right. Well, let's talk about your playing style.
Okay.
For fans that are not familiar with you, and that's obviously most, if not all of us, describe your style of play. What is your approach to the game? Maybe your mental mindset, or think about another way. How would a scout describe you?
The basic answer would be that I like to play hard. I play with some passion. I try to do it as reserved as I possibly can,
Okay.
but there is emotion in the game, and um, I try to not ride the roller coaster. So I don't want to ever try to get too high or get too low.
Right.
That's the name of the game, is being consistent. So I try to live by that principle, and just play the game hard, and most of all have fun. My mom, I always think about my mom when I'm playing. Like before each game, I always say a little prayer, and the last thing that I always say is something about having fun and playing the game, because that's what it is. It's a
Yeah.
fun game. So trying to enjoy every single moment, because you can't take it for granted.
Do you have any odd baseball superstitions? I know sometimes there's players have funky little things. How about you? Do you have any odd baseball superstitions?
I feel like I should be prepared for this question. I wouldn't say so. I'd like to think I'm not very superstitious, but in the wise words of Michael Scott, I'm a little stitious. Um, I I don't have like any certain ways that I have to prepare for a game. I take a lot of pride in that. Um, I try to do as much as I can in preparation without having, you know, set routines for
Mhm.
certain things. Like I don't have to. I like to think back to. I think Adam Wainwright said it. Um, you can get caught up with having too many routines, having to do things certain ways instead of just going with the flow of the game.
How about baseball hero? Do you have a particular baseball hero or another individual who inspires you to play or inspired you to when you're growing up?
Man, it'd be hard not to say my dad, but I'm not going to. I'll give him credit somewhere else. But I'd say my oldest brother. My oldest brother, Travis Stroup, played where I'm at now. Sadly, he didn't get the opportunity to play professional baseball, but I always thought he was a great player growing up. He's a great hitter. So I always looked up to him, and I always saw him kind of as a hero in my eyes. I wanted to be like him, hit like him. We always had the same stance growing up, so it comes to no shock, right? Uh, yeah, so I'd say him.
How about any off-season routines? How do you stay baseball ready?
Well, right now, being a graduate assistant here at UCM is fantastic because I get to use all their facilities, and before and after practices, I can do whatever I need to do. So usually, my routine right now is get to the field, do whatever is necessary there. We usually, as assistant coaches, will do the laundry for the guys and do whatever preparation we need to do for practice, and then probably around like 10 or 11 a.m. I'll work out. So I'll do any sort of lift that I have, and I've been going through this program out of Kansas City that's based out of Kansas City called PSP, um, and they do all my workouts for me. They program all my workouts for me. They don't do them for me, sadly.
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
but
right.
uh, so I have that routine. I do that about 4 days a week, and then I do whatever hitting or fielding. I do plenty of throwing, so my arm will be in shape. I throw plenty of BP. Hit a lot of fungos here, so I get plenty of swings on top of the swings that I take after practice and stuff like that.
Do you have a walk-up song?
I am very loyal to my man Morgan Wallen, so I will have a Morgan Wallen walk-up song. I don't know yet; I haven't determined that yet. I just want to be clear on
All
that.
right, that's all right.
But the
We'll figure.
last, I guess, since 2020, I've had a Morgan Wallen
Okay.
walk-up song, so I will continue that.
Gearing towards that, what gets you pumped up before a game? Is it music or exercise or something else? Do you have anything that kind of gets you pumped up?
Um, yeah, I'd say you named a couple actually. Lifting, good music for sure, and just being around the guys. I love taking BP and being outside, especially in the summer. I mean, you can't ask for any better job. Going to the park, showing up at the park at whatever time before the game, hours before the game, and just getting your work in. And I mean, I feel like I don't work a day in my life. I get to play baseball, and I just happen to get paid for it. So
That's
that's
awesome.
what pumps me up.
Okay. I love it. All right. Are you ready to talk dogs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, first of all, most important for dogs fans, how do you like your hot dog?
No ketchup.
No ketchup. Okay. You'll find that there's a lot of that going around.
Right.
All right. Well, let's get serious about the dogs here. Tell us how you actually became a Chicago Dogs. Were you aware of the team at all? What's the story behind you becoming a Chicago Dog?
So I was originally signed to the Cleburne Railroaders
No
for this
kidding. For
season.
for for the 2024 season?
Yep.
Oh,
So I had a contact with the manager from a year prior to that, actually. So he was in the Frontier League, and you become a free agent every year in a league like this. So I was trying to figure out where I wanted to play, and he offered me a contract, and I signed it. And that was back in November, I believe. Fast forward to about a month ago now, I get a call from him saying that I've been traded to the Chicago Dogs. So that is how I've become a Chicago Dog. I'm super excited about it. I've heard nothing but great things. I've driven by the field a couple times. Haven't actually been there, but it seems immaculate. I've seen it on social media too. So
yeah,
I'm
it's
super
beautiful.
excited. So and I talked to the manager, and seems like a great guy. So I'm really excited.
So you are listed as infielder. What do you feel is your best position, and do you know yet which position you'll be playing for the Dogs, or at least starting as
I do not know what position. I'm not the one that writes the lineup.
uh,
I would say my primary position is third base.
third base? Okay.
I grew up playing every position on the field, so I'm very comfortable anywhere on the field. Primarily as an infielder, though.
Okay.
Third base, I've really found a home there. I would say that's probably my favorite position,
Hot
but
corner.
I do enjoy the hot corner. But I'm very comfortable, honestly, anywhere in the infield, shortstop, second base, first base. I've had experience playing all of those positions.
Let's talk about living accommodations. It's kind of something that maybe we don't even really think about a lot because you're not from here. Do you know what your living accommodations will be? Will you be staying with a host family, or does the team set you up somewhere? How does that work?
I was told that I'm gonna get a call from someone in the front office about this. I don't know yet what my living situation will be. It is very common to have a host family, and
Right.
I'm very comfortable doing that. I usually stay to myself. I keep my area clean, so I pride myself on being a good host player.
How about goals for yourself for the 2024 season on field, particularly? What are you gonna kind of give yourself some some plateaus to reach, or just kind of improve yourself? What do you have any particular goals?
Yeah, I want to continue to at least personally improve my walk to strikeout ratio. More than anything, I think the hitting side of it, you can't control what happens after it hits your bat. So as long as I put good swings on balls, then I'm not too worried about the actual result of it. As long as I feel comfortable in the box and confident in my approach, and that's the main goal for me personally. Obviously, I want to be on a winning team, and I think Chicago Dogs have a good reputation for that. And obviously, the goal is to win a championship, and I would love to do that again in Chicago. I think that would be a cool story. Yeah, I'm hoping we can have a great season.
For this next section, it's called Quick Hits. We're going to have a little fun. It's not really baseball related, but just some fun kind of questions. Are you ready for it?
Perfect. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Starbucks.
All right. The last TV show you watched?
Game of Thrones.
Ooh, all right.
Big fan.
The greatest snack food is?
Oh, gummy worms.
Okay, cool.
Big candy guy.
Your movie preference, comedy, action, or horror?
Comedy.
Okay. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Coolest Star Wars character?
Ooh, Anakin Skywalker.
Lunch with anyone in history, who would it be? Living, dead, anywhere in history.
Babe Ruth.
All right. What is your hidden talent?
I don't know if I would call it a talent because I'm not very good at it, but I'm kind of slowly on my own pace learning American Sign Language.
No kidding. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I want to preface it by saying that I do not know hardly any, but I am amazed by it. So I can do a little bit.
What
So
made
I
you
can at least
decide
do
to?
my name.
Oh, so letter by letter?
Right. Yeah. Dusty. If you could see that.
Yeah. And was there something that inspired you to learn that?
Uh, Not really. I've always just been amazed by it. I've had a couple friends that have really like did a deep dive and I think took some courses on it like in college or something.
Yeah.
I always admired that. So I
Yeah,
just
it is beautiful to watch people how they do it. It's
incredibly difficult, but
oh,
man,
I'm
it's
sure.
so cool.
Well, that's
I think it's
awesome.
awesome.
That is great. That's fantastic. Kittens or puppies?
Puppies.
All right. Most listened to on your Spotify playlist?
Morgan Wallen.
Oh, duh, of course. I'm sorry. And if you were a Pokemon, you would be?
Charizard.
Oh, good one, good one. The fire Pokemon. All right, Dusty. Well, we're kind of wrapping it up here. My last section is called the final pitch. Do you have any special message for the fans?
I'm super excited to get to Chicago again. I'm really excited to be a dog, and hopefully we can get some wins and hopefully hit some balls hard and hit some balls far and celebrate and hopefully put up a trophy.
So, how can the fans follow you or connect with you online if they want to become a Dusty fan and keep tabs?
Uh, they can follow me on social media. Instagram and Twitter, I think, are pretty standard. I don't have any fancy names. I think it's just Dusty Stroup.
And fans, remember to follow the Fool. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Chidogfool, CHIDOGFOOL. And make sure you give this video a like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Dusty, thank you so much for joining us. This was a great talk. I'm so glad I got to meet you and the fans as well. And we're certainly looking forward to a great season and watching you have fun out there.
All right, thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on. It's been great. Go Dog. Hey, Dogs fans. This is Dusty Stroup. I'm a new Chicago dog this year for the 2024 season. Make sure you guys follow the Fool.